What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to my very first vlog. So, I spent a lot of time racking my brain and hitting my head against the table trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about for my very first vlog. And I came to the conclusion that the best place to start would be to start at the beginning. So, here we are. I grew up in a very artistic family. My mom is a clothing and jewelry designer. My dad went to school to be an architect, and so art was just an everyday part of life. The first time I ever picked up a camera was probably in 7th or 8th grade when I took a intro to photography class. The class, covered basics. It covered some color grading, Photoshop, mainly just replacing the background with a solid color, but Photoshop nonetheless. So for that class, I spent all the money I had saved up from birthdays, from mowing lawns, shoveling snow. I bought a camera similar to this. Just a little 12 megapixel pocket camera. Just going around just taking pictures of everything. I took that camera everywhere, and it got beat up. At one point, the battery hatch door stopped closing, and I had to tape it closed, and then life took a hard right turn. My family ended up moving from Colorado all the way up to Oregon. And photography was left in one of those moving boxes and just never got unpacked. A couple years go by, and then junior year of high school comes around, and they started offering an intro to photography class. Well, I needed an elective, and I had some background in photography, so I was like, yeah, it'll be an easy grade. Well, they were teaching a lot of the same stuff that I had already learned, and so I ended up getting picked up by the advanced class. The advanced class was cool, but it wasn't really photography. It was a lot more cinematography. And they were using software that was super outdated. The software was so ridiculous that if you wanted to add an effect to the video that you were doing, you had to go and search this massive library on the wall, find the case that was what you wanted. So let's say you wanted, glass shattering to cover your video. Well, you had to go and find the glass shattering, and then you had to look at the back, look what disc of the 4 discs that were in that case had the one that you wanted. Then you had to plug it into the computer, download it to the computer, then take that download, and oh man, it was just this super long, drawn-out process that now you can do in like 10 minutes. And it would take an entire class period. But it wasn't all bad. I got to do some really cool stuff. I got to mess with equipment that I never would have been able to afford otherwise, and I got to go and record videos for the local fire department. I filmed the high school football games. I edited them and did highlight reels, and then I ended up making an extreme sports video for my senior project to help benefit the skate park that was being built in the town I was in at the time. It was very much so learn by yourself. The only time I ever really talked to the teacher was when he brought me into the class and showed me the software that we were using and the massive library of effects. That was it. And so it was, and to add to it, there was only one other person in the period that I was in, so I had really no help at all. But I still had a lot of fun. It was a blast. I went out and started videoing everything. I went out and videoed my friends skateboarding. I went out and videoed when I was snowboarding. I was taking pictures of everything. And I was having a lot of fun. I was told, I don't know how many times, that photography and cinematography was an extremely hard field to get into, and that it was next to impossible to make a living off of it, and it just wasn't a valid job choice. I stopped focusing on photography and started focusing more on trying to learn a trade, or what job I wanted when I got out, and that I was gonna work the 9 to 5 and I was gonna climb the ladder, and I was gonna be the big bad CEO of some company somewhere, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it was. I just fell for the lie. That's all there is to it. And so photography got pushed to the back burner again. It was a fun hobby. I took pictures every once in a while and with my phone or whatever, and posted them to Instagram, and messed around with video software every once in a while, but for the most part it wasn't a priority to me. And so life continued on, and then several years later, I'm living in Montana at the time. Had a really bad winter, wasn't able to work in it, and so I saw all those ads for TikTok. So I downloaded it, and then I started seeing people's videos, and I was laughing and enjoying them, and then I was started thinking, I was like, I could do that. That wouldn't be hard, and I could do that. So I started recording, and I was having so much fun. And then that passion that I had been sitting on the back burner forever came and kicked my door down. FBI, open up! And it made sure I knew that it was there to stay this time. I started learning as much as I could. I started watching YouTube tutorials on how to do color grading and how to piece together B-roll and how to do all this just stuff that I never thought about before. And I started watching YouTubers like Peter McKinnon and Josh Yo, and then I started saving up and finally was able to buy myself a proper DSLR this time. And so I started telling friends and family that I was trying to do photography for a career. I was asking if I could take pictures and to build my portfolio. I set up a web page. Links down in the description below if you're interested in checking out some of my work. And then I got a paying gig. It was for a local recording artist that I met through a coworker, and that really just fueled the fire. I started to really realize that I could do this as a career if I just keep hustling and keep working. And so far it's going pretty well. And there's only room to grow. And I'm hoping that you guys will be with me on the journey as I just continue down this road of trying to be the best photographer and cinematographer I can be. I guess that's all I got for the first vlog. I know it's kind of short, but I'm still not quite comfortable talking to a camera in an empty room. I don't know how to describe it. It's not really like embarrassing because, there's nobody here, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what am I doing? And so, hopefully I get better at this. Anyway, until next time, stay awesome and go and take some pictures. Bye! Let me guess, not recording, huh? I'm gonna have to do this all over again.